Okay, we're live. Yay, we're back. Cool. We made it. Technical difficulties established.
Yes, we've established technical difficulties.
That's for sure. And also
nice.
some hummus on your butt.
I've sat in hummus. Nice.
We promised that was hummus.
Yeah.
That wasn't what that commercial break was for at all. Yeah, we should if he's I want to harass him. Just totally unexpectedly be like, hey man, you're on camera. Deal with it. See if see how well he deals with that. He's not prepared.
You can just put it up to the speaker. Not too close though.
What's up, brother?
What's up with you, brother?
No. I was watching y'all for a little while, but it kind of went off.
Yeah. Technical difficulties.
My laptop died. I thought it was plugged in. It wasn't.
I hear you.
But we're back now.
We're back. We just wanted to say hi. Actually, I just wanted to harass you.
You there?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me turn this up. I think my phone's just garbage. There we go. Keith, you're called in. So,
I wanted to, I didn't get a chance to, but before I had you on again, I wanted to get some rice in those jars and try that out because I think that's a really neat idea and it's worth looking into.
Oh, yeah. We should all do it separately, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the same time, and then that way, because there's a lot of people doing it, enough people doing it as a test. And that way I'll meet us, or even 5 other people that want to hop in too. Just to all do it at the same time, just to kind of see even on that level.
Yeah, just try it individually.
Right.
To fill you in if you don't know what we're talking about, Keith was telling me about, and maybe I won't butcher this, but you get like a grain of rice,
mm-hmm.
and you put, you have like a control subject, and you have 2 other ones, and one you put negative vibes into.
Oh, the one you put positive vibes into, and like when you curse, when you bless, kind of thing, and the rice actually changes. Have you guys actually ever done that?
You just make it a batch and you split it for 3.
Oh man, my phone's garbage. What?
Yeah.
Keith, I may have to apologize entirely for even calling you, brother. I think my phone is.
I could call him on mine if you want to keep talking.
I do want to talk about Dystopalon at some point, but
I can call him if you want to keep talking. I can call you on my phone.
Yeah, let's call you. I'm gonna call you on the other one.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Man, this thing is.
Okay, don't say out loud, but.
Oh. Yeah, I got you. I say that. Right there.
I was looking for Keith. I was like, I know it's in here. Where is it?
Where is it? I do that all the time too, though, dude.
What's up, man?
Hey, that's much better. Sorry to put you on the spot, man. I know you said you were getting your kids to bed, so if this is a bad time, I understand.
He's down. I'm actually down here fooling around with the keyboard.
Cool.
What are you looping? You better be looping something.
Oh, yeah, it's mom. I'm just, I got a little thing going on. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Let me turn it up a little bit for a second. I don't want to crank it too loud because my water hop up.
Definitely.
I'm barreling upstairs.
Don't wake nobody.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm just having time. Did you guys get back on or?
Yeah, it should be back on at this point.
We're live.
I'm just not sure if like anybody's actually back up and watching it. We had a good amount of people a minute ago, and
yeah, we're back up though. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys got stirring up. Devon's been telling me about it.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm trying to approach it pretty raw, pretty just a hard premise, and then refining it from there.
I got you.
so far there's just a lot of brutality to let out, and then we'll worry about maybe dialing it back and having something more refined. But I'm sure right now there's just a lot to just get it out,
Yeah,
It's been rough times. It's been bad.
it's a good therapy in general, just to do or be able to do it.
Some people use a punching bag. Some people use drum sets.
Yeah, I've been feeling that myself. I just it's funny how like it manifests differently for each individual, because I don't really have much of an ear for music, and maybe that's just because I never trained it when I was young. But it's not like there's not still time. But like my passion's always been like words, and like I've always been really into poetry, and that's usually how I get that out of me. Like that's my release. Like
Yeah, that didn't sound sexual at all.
It does feel like that. Like when you make a piece of art, and like when you really do your best to make something, and then you release it, like that does feel sort of like that.
Like getting off?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly what that's like. But crazy. So, Neef, you still there, dude?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Word. At some point you've got to talk about the super heaviness with me in the debrief. Lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
You there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was my bad. Give me a second.
Yeah, Devin stopped out for a second. I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
I was just saying, Devin showed me he sent me a file of something you and him were fucking around with, and it sounded really good. Did what?
The recent one? Was that the recent one a couple of days ago?
Ipecac.
Yeah, okay. You see, he sent you the new one, all right.
And
Yeah, that was about the second time we even gone over that little riff. I have since just kind of developed it into more of a fully functional, if you could, add a little more to it, round it out a little more, turn it into something more, then we'll bring it back in. Kind of like building forging a blade, you know what I mean? We got to beat on the metal and pound it out and then flip it over and then,
Yeah.
I'll throw it back in the fire for a little while and heat it up, and then we got to pound on it again and keep shaping it.
I feel you. You're a smith.
I'm pulling a lot of. I'm kind of trying to approach this project a little bit different of an angle, as far as content-wise. I don't want to say it's political, but I don't want to say it's not. It's almost anti-political.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very purist as far as anarchism goes. It's very, but I wanted to kind of steer clear of a lot of the doomy element. You know, there's a lot of old folk rock that wasn't necessarily downtrodden. It was upset and it was angry, but it was uplifting. I was actually very positive. It was very, you know, encouraging for you to be thinking on your own and for you to be going against the norm as opposed, you know, and you know, when I was coming up, that's what the youth needed. They needed to be re-encouraged that they could go ahead and do what they wanted to do, you know?
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to get back to that kind of message instead of just telling people how crappy everything is, you know? Let them know that we are the reason things are the way they are. And they're going to be as good as they are, as bad as they are because of us as people, you know? And we are the ones, you know, it's kind of a little bit of self-empowerment in there. Imagery-wise, I've been reading a lot of old Conan stories, a lot of old Robert Howard.
Okay.
And so it's kind of, you know, trying to put a little bit of element of that kind of feeling, that kind of idea in the world. But when I talk about the thunder, I went into my whole thunder theory by the time I talked.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you tear away the arbitrary and you ask yourself about every little thing that goes on, and you think, how was a queen in the middle of the thunder on one night sketch, you know, holding thumbs? You know, all of these things on the media or problems go away. You know, it turns into a very survivalist mentality. And, you know, it's kind of like a breakdown, you know, I don't know, to encourage people listening, you know, like we got civilized and we're almost civilized. We can like back up some and like take it on a different turn, you know.
That's the problem with abolition is like if you're going to tear down the system, you have to have an alternative to replace it with. Otherwise, you just have chaos.
Actually, that's a big argument that often been with people that's exactly the problem. Some humans put a song called Where's the Freedom System? We then reject the system and put another in its place. And right now, the really good point I was trying to stress with people when it comes to the Auschwitz police department. You know, arguing about funding, is it this, you know, that. And I try to expand the knowledge out of it to see how other they I guess a little, I don't know what you call it, an essay, a metaphor, you know, an analogy, I guess, based out of a theory I read about our legal system. And I didn't put it so totally on saying that it's exactly what was thinking. I just put it more of a metaphor, you know, saying. And in that I try to explain about the argument, it's not so much the argument that we can't abolish, it's the argument that we can't merely just look at it like it's only the police. Because the term law enforcement is where it begins. When we have law enforcement, that is laws that are made by politicians who are paid by lobbyists. Most of those laws we do not wish to adhere to. We think they're arbitrary, they're redundant, they're ridiculous, they're no meaning, or no purpose, they're ridiculous crimes. And so then you have police officers merely being collectors of revenue and privateers, you know. But it doesn't stop there, you know. A lot of the same people that are against them are opponents of a lot of social services like DHS, DCS, you know, things like that. And they don't realize that that's the same thing as law enforcement, you know. people were talking about child separation of the borders. Some of these same people are proponents of DCS going to somebody's house and taking their child. And it happens all the time in America. And nobody ever said anything. It's not when, the child comes back home as far as the games. And so, it was rude. Well, we get into who's to decide what and how much power are you willing to give the government. Some people don't think that's right, and some people that have that same claim against this, this act, who get behind this act, what has to do with American citizen. They don't think about it the same way. But it's still the same thing. It's still an enforcement of a law that you may or may not agree with. And a democratic society, while it will happen in that office, we don't care what you think. This is how it is.
I'm so deaf.
Yeah, I can hear what you're saying. It's a little rough on your end, but yeah, no, like you said, there's sort of false shepherds that claim they have something, but they're just upset and want to tear down what exists, and there's not a lot of true paths. There's a lot of what do you call that? Like charlatans out there.
Well, yeah, there's also a lot of people in this world where not so much they don't believe what they say, or they're trying to be bitter about it. There's a lot of people that claim we don't have it in them to go all the way. And that's what I mean. They'll tear out the police system, but they won't continue into the judicial system where the real battles live.
Yeah. Like, why attack the infantry when you should be going after the generals making the decisions?
Right. Police are going to give politicians the power to enforce the power that we give them to make laws.
Yeah. Yep. And
it's so funny. Like, I'm in this very politically driven band with a lot of political messages, and I've been the most unpolitical person my entire life leading up to this. And ever, just never engaged this stuff. And then I met Neve, and let me tell you, there was like an instant connection in the sense of like, okay, we get it. The left, the right, it doesn't matter. Everybody's a bunch of fools. It's all a bunch of ridiculousness. And we've been able to just, yeah, it's a cool connection between just the distraught over the overall system of it, whereas he's able to get in the real specifics and tear it apart. I feel like I can just have been on the outsider perspective looking in, and I feel like the balance between us, someone who's been so involved and so uninvolved, we've got to be able to cover the whole spectrum of what's actually going on. You know what I mean? Because there's people who have just buried their heads in the sand and been involved in religion, involved in this, involved in whatever else. And, I think now we're past a point in realizing it's affecting everyone. They're rioting in other countries over, good grief.
I think, I saw a post the other day that was like, we need to normalize talking about religion and politics instead of making it a taboo subject that you don't really engage on. It should be something that we talk about more openly because it's the most important things to talk about. Like it's the biggest question, so why aren't we talking about that more? Why can't we have a dialogue and discuss it?
I think just being able to have dialogue with anybody who, like, if you can't have the argument have somebody who's going to be on the exact opposite end of your argument arguing back with you, then what's free speech otherwise?
Yeah.
I mean, you can say what you want, but the whole point is that so can he, and more likely than not, there's going to be somebody out there who's going to say the exact opposite of what I say.
And honestly, the cancel culture stuff, like I got into it with someone a few months ago, and that person blocked me on Facebook.
Yep.
And whenever something like that happens, it just tells me that they can't hang. They're afraid of me posting something else on their forum and not knowing how to respond to it. It's out of fear. And like, what other reason is there for that? Like,
Well,
I mean, that could be.
I'm a couple of different private groups I've been pulled into, and it's actually been a really good test for me to not to be so. I try not to ever play devil's advocate, but I end up coming across that way because I don't try to argue with people as much as I try to give people a more open perspective. And one of these groups had a whole set of rules about talking about this and that. And when I introduced myself into there, I told them, my belief is an anarchist, and they might not agree with everything, but I want you to ask questions. I want to make you think, and I want to ask you questions. And I got responded to with, the same kind of, pretty much you're responsible for your rhetoric, and which was kind of redundant because I have to, it's private group, and they have to, anything I post, they have to approve in the first place, so kind of silly, but
yeah.
He said that they didn't want edgy questions, and I thought about that, and I said, edgy questions is exactly what people need.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I'll ask some really wild and weird stuff online sometimes, and it layered around with other statements, or I'll walk into a question almost out of left field from a statement. And I do that because that's how I remind people that, social media does not represent me. It represents me spouting off an idea from a table in a coffee house. And if you just want to walk over and sit down and engage with it, you can. Otherwise, you take it for what you want. And I found that asking what I used to call cage route questions, I can ask a question and get screamed at and called every name in the book, but all I did was ask a question, and I never even made a statement or even answered my own question. I just asked this question, and I think that is one of the most important things, especially right now, is that people cannot accept a question, no matter what it is. Then they're truly saying they cannot accept knowledge, and they cannot control the power that they are being willing to be given, because knowledge is power. And we are all sitting right now in the back end of the information revolution. We have so much information at our fingertips that at least half of it is false. So,
yeah,
it's kind of we're kind of overrun. So everybody's in this neutral mind zone. Nobody wants to admit they learned anything from somebody, because the ego is taking the forefront again. And it doesn't matter if somebody teaches you something, because you could have just learned that on YouTube the other day anyway. So, somebody could turn around and tell me that everything I'm saying is exactly the same as some dead author that I've never even heard of, and then argue how I'm wrong about my philosophy.
Yeah. Yep. Like the sharing of ideas and like just leaving your comfort zone and hearing someone else's perspective is what leads to growth, and it's what we need. People can get out of their biases if they're willing to listen, but like,
Get out of your echo chambers. You don't need to keep hearing yourself and everybody who already agrees with you. You've already know that. Fix the problem by understanding the dissenter. If you can make a friend out of your enemy.
and it like find common ground with people. Like, we're all human beings, and we, for the most part, maybe there are truly evil people, but I think most people just want what's good for everyone. Most people are good natured. They just are misled.
I mean, didn't Game of Thrones teach us that even Jaime Lannister was kind of like okay? Like, I mean, he may have pushed the kid, he may have murdered a bunch of people, but it was like, yeah, you feel bad for him at the end. It's like,
People generally do things because they
The
think
Joker.
it's the right thing to do.
good guy.
But
Well, what I'm finding the most difficult thing to deal with right now is people taking that very sentiment to a level of you being sympathetic. And I literally got accused of, being sympathetic to whatever, racist or whoever it was that was talking on some post. They were talking about, somebody said something about unfriend, this or that. And, I said, I would rather teach the ignorant than turn my back on them, And I got into a little metaphoric discussion. The girl said something, and she didn't really argue with me hard. And she brought up a metaphor, which I didn't think was a great metaphor for her, but I tried to work within it. I didn't want to attack her idea or argument. And I ended up, she actually came back across and said, that's a really good, good way to put that. That's something for me to think about. And I thought that was really groundbreaking that somebody could say, hey, you took my metaphor and you spoke your point back through it to me and allowed me, instead of just arguing with me and telling me it's dumb, you used it, not necessarily used it back again, because I don't like to say that, because I don't like looking at these things like somebody is winning an argument.
Yeah, she was just flowing with the actual conversation of it.
We all win.
Yeah.
And I immediately had some guy pull so are you saying that, or it sounds like you're saying that, it's necessary to have these people or something, I don't know. And it was just so, like a pitfall trap, it's like I'm trying to plow a field of brotherhood here, and these people are just digging traps, I'm trying to, talk about methods of growing corn, and we got to worry about somebody, putting, spiking around, It's like, they're not interested in reaching a ground or an idea. They're interested in their ego. That's why I don't believe a lot of people when they come up with a lot of their touting of all these messages and all these movements. They seem too bandwagon. They seem fake to me. They seem like, everybody's into this, so I should be into this too, because I don't want to be considered this way. And if I'm selling a product, if I slap that on the product, it's going to definitely sell. And if I don't, it's going to get boycotted.
yeah.
And that kind of shit is ridiculous.
My only real message is communication, like people talking and sharing ideas with each other. I think that's the key to everything.
Yep.
Well,
Because, I mean, it's a whole lot harder to actually take the time to teach somebody than it is to just be like, whatever, you're not listening.
If people just
And
listen to
dismiss
each
people
other
and let them go.
and
I mean,
communicate, that's really the key to everything.
it's honestly, it's not love when you dismiss people like that.
Yeah.
Love is
Like if you think about like radical jihadists and like suicidal extremists, terrorists, like you could reason and explain reality in a different way to someone like that. But the problem is they're conditioned not to listen to things like that.
yeah. Right. It's the fabulous clause in most all religions, or most all monotheistic type religions, where it is, don't worry, we're right.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee we're right, because we're going to let you know there's going to be people that come and tell you we're wrong, and they're wrong, and because we told you about that, we've prophesied this, so we must be right.
Yeah. Yep. It gets really complicated when the book that you follow is supposed to be divinely inspired and therefore above reproof. It can't be torn apart by humans and speculated on. That makes it a lot more complicated.
Right. Well, I mean, we're talking about all philosophy is written by humans. I haven't seen any text that came from aliens and we figured out. I mean, we found writings and things that we don't know where they came from, but we haven't figured out what they say to a T. So,
Yeah.
that doesn't do us any good. So, like you're saying with communication, if you look at technology has been so based around the communication thing that everything we've had, I don't know if I went into the idea, and this isn't really an original theory, I got all this from William Gibson. Excuse me. Where the cave fire, where, the chief or whoever was leading, and this kind of goes back to the whole tundra thing. They were building fires in caves, and that fire was a technology. That's our separation technology from the animal world, more than anything, because now we're finding that some animals use tools. Animals all communicate. There's all these things that are so just like us, but the one thing is the method of using fire, of creating and harnessing energy that way. We did that with fire, and we used it to keep the caves lit at night and tell our stories.
Mm-hmm.
And speak and learn our communication and teach our communication. The television, the radio, alright? The radio and the television replaced that fire.
Yeah.
That fire evolved into the kitchen, which became the dining room or the living area of a home. And the home pretty much turned into nothing but that and places to sleep. So, now we're to the point where, when it got peaked out at television, we were still grouping around the TV. So it still kind of had that going on. Once TVs got cheap, and they started popping up more and more, everybody had them in their own room, in their own spaces. So everybody had their own little fire thing that needed to gather around. Now we're walking around with 2 or 3 fire devices of communication, and then we can bounce through a million different people standing in the fucking campfire screaming something at us.
Yeah.
And we as an animal are not designed for that kind of shit. None of them are. Animals are not designed for that. When you do that to them, and that's kind of called domestication. And we've ended up allowing ourselves to be domesticated by our own system.
Yeah. Yeah. We just have you seen the movie WALL-E, the Disney movie? Where everyone's like they just sit in their chair and everything's automated for them.
Yeah.
We ain't getting too far. Ain't long.
That's what that sounds like. And it's kind of already there. It's kind of already that.
Word. Keith, brother, I think I'm getting ready to get out of here myself, but I love you, man. I'm gonna holler at you soon, though. All right? Probably like tomorrow.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, holler at me.
For sure.
Well, thanks for doing this, guys. Appreciate it. It's nice talking to you.
Yep. Always, anytime.
Bye, Neve.
I'll see you next time, brother. And same to you, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
doing this.
dude, always. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like everything's kind of gotten all late and energy draining, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna end up like, yep, the long
I'm
drive.
tired too. I gotta be up for work in the morning. So
The both of us.
we'll call it a night.
We'll call it a night.
It
right?
sucks that it broke like halfway through because there was gonna be like 2 video clips.
Yeah, I know, but we'll have the first section, and then we'll have the Neef section, and yeah, that works. I mean, the light and the dark, right? This is all supposed to be about balance. So
Okay. Okay. Bye.
all right, bye. Cheers.